What is good, Council of Comics? We're doing John Wick Part 3. This is Film and Box Office News, Episode 30. Let's go!
Life is like the brightest day. Where are the heroes? Soon as they get here, everything will be alright. I need a hero. Someone superhuman who can come and save my life.
Alright. It's time for the main topic of the show. For the past 3 weeks, or last 2 weeks, we covered John Wick Chapter 1, John Wick Chapter 2, and today, my friends, we are going to cover John Wick Chapter 3.
Parabellum.
Parabellum. I saw this last night with Kamaria. What a wild movie, man.
Oh, yeah.
What a wild, wild movie. Kamaria said, she's like, I felt like there was an hour and a half of action and like 30 minutes of any kind of story beats that go on.
Not really.
And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty accurate. That's pretty accurate. But
you'd be surprised.
It's called for that, though. You know what I mean? It's called to do that because John Wick in this one, he's on a hit list. He's been excommunicado, as they say.
Correct.
And he's got a $14 million bounty on his head. And he's basically trying to figure out how to get that bounty off his head and how to get back to normal.
Yeah.
Halle Berry is in this movie. Doing very, very well. Well, I'll let you go. Go ahead. Tell me what you think.
I like this. I've liked all this. Like this whole series has been solid all the way through. I think this has the most like sword play in the out of all the.
Well, because it has to.
Yeah, whether like the other ones were very like gun ballads, like you said. This still has like has its gun ballad, but it also has a lot of like sword play, a lot of knife fights in it.
A lot of hand-to-hand stuff too.
Yeah, a lot of hand-to-hand, like mixed martial arts moves are getting.
Well, because he doesn't have services until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all out of services. He's just going from place to place. and again, with my thing, if you watch the last one, I'm like, there's too many assassins. Like, everywhere he goes. Yeah, like, there's people everywhere.
Maybe they all hang out in New York.
And I think that's one of the things I liked about this is like he's at the New York Library and there's like a fight in the library.
Well,
I think he's at like Grand Central and there's a fight at Grand Central.
Yeah.
That was what cracked me up when I was watching this. I was like, I've been in New York a bunch of times. I've been outside the New York Public Library, but I've never been inside it. So I'm going, I'm assuming that's what it looks like inside. And I've never actually been inside it. I've taken pictures with the lions and done the whole thing, but I've never been inside.
Yeah, when they're in the library and he's like $14 million is a lot of money. He's like, yeah, it's gonna mean nothing if you can't spend it.
Right.
He's getting attacked early. Like he's not even excommunicado yet. He's attacked early.
He still had an hour, 40 minutes he had left.
Remember he says, "Who's gonna know?"
Yeah. He gets out of that one. He ends up running through a building, starts fighting all these guys with the knives. There's knives all in the cabinets, and
that was a good scene.
Throwing knives at each other.
It was like as soon as I see that, I was like, "Oh, they're gonna fight with all of these knives." Like he didn't have that.
Before that, though, remember he gets that gun that he's got to put together, so he has one bullet.
That was cool too. How he's putting the gun because the bullet didn't fit in the other one. So he's like, "Oh, okay, I gotta find one. I gotta make one that'll fit." But this is the thing that got me mad. He made the gun for one shot.
I thought about that too, but he was running out of time. In my head, you fill up the chambers and then set it down where you're putting it. But
Yeah. And I was like, wait, you like did it one shot with that.
It's fine.
Yeah. A new character that's introduced in this movie is the Adjudicator.
Yeah.
So the Adjudicator, she comes and she basically, if you remember from John Wick 2, the manager of the Continental and Larry,
the King of the Bowery,
the Fishburne character, the King of the Bowery, they both helped John Wick in a way. And the adjudicator is like, well, he was excommunicado. You guys were supposed to kill him. And you didn't do it.
He wasn't incommunicado yet, though. Not when they were helping him. She's just going around saying, you've been helping him along.
Yes.
You should have just taken
because
him
he
out.
killed one of the table.
Right.
And he wasn't supposed to do that.
Your fealties to us, not to him.
Yeah.
You should have done what was right for us first and then worried about yes.
Yeah. So would what's his name? The King of the
Bowery.
The King of the Bowery, since he gave him 7 bullets, they give him 7 cuts.
Well, 7 days first. 7 days to vacate.
Yes.
And then she shows up and she's like, "Are you gonna leave?" He's like, "Nah, fuck you."
Yeah.
Okay, now you get 7 cuts.
He chooses the cuts. And as far as the man,
and she tells McShane the same thing. You have 7 days to
get your affairs in order. But he tells her, he's like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but so John Wick on his travel though, he's going across the world. He meets up with Halle Berry. He has a marker that Halle Berry owes him. But since he's excommunicado,
before we get there,
uh-huh.
You go back to visit the tribe he came from. He's
the orphan house.
And he walks in and he's got the cross. He's like, "You owe me my ticket."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You can never remember." They burn him, and she's like, "You can never." come back.
They burn an upside down cross on his back.
Yes.
Oh, that was like the
how
creepy gross part with the ballerina and her toenail.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
How about the doctor right before he even that, where he just before he becomes excommunicado, he's like, "Doc, you got 15 seconds," and then he goes, "They're never gonna believe I didn't help you afterward."
Yeah, so
like,
he goes to the doctor.
He
goes to the doctor. Doctor, he's like, "I got 5 minutes." And the doctor's like, "Okay," and he sews him halfway. Then the time runs out, so he sews himself the rest of the way.
Yes.
And then the doctor actually tells him to take those pills up there. And the doctor's like, "They're gonna know I helped you. They're even gonna know that I told you about the medicine." So he lifts up his shirt, and he's just like, "You gotta bang." John Wick already knows, and he's just like, "Bang."
Below
and then
my
he's like,
rib.
He's like, "One's not gonna do it. You gotta do 2." Bang. He's like, "Bang."
No thought process. Like, yeah, no, I got it.
Is that the key maker?
Like, the doctor's going, "Hold on a second." He's like, "No, I gotta go, dude. Like, you understand? Everybody's after me."
Is that the key maker from Matrix?
No, I'm not sure. I think it might be.
There's
a lot of the same actors in these that if you notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he goes to his orphanage after that. They give him passage, but they kick him out of the orphanage. He's not part of that tribe anymore, and they give him passage overseas. And he goes to see Halle Berry. Yeah. He goes to see Halle Berry. He says to Halle Berry, you owe me. He has a marker with her fingerprint on it. And she's like, "You basically just messed up everything by coming here."
It is the key maker. I just looked it up.
Okay, cool. You messed everything up by coming here because now I'm screwed either way. Yeah. If I help you, I'm screwed. You know what I mean? If I kill you, I'm screwed. Like if I go after, because she already knows you'll kill me. I think that's the point that she's making. Like I'm screwed either way. So she decides to help him, and she has the dope dogs. She has the dogs. Those dogs. I thought
there were some great attack dogs.
Yeah.
When you find out the reason that her marker is that he helped her get her daughter clear.
Yes.
And I don't want to know where she is because basically they can use it against me. And I might go try and find her, so don't tell me. Is
she in part 4?
Might be. Who knows? I don't know if I don't think they've said yet. She could be. There's only a couple people who can't be at this point.
Yeah. So they go to see what do they call this guy that they go to see?
I'll look it up. It's basically her boss.
He's because the other guy they see later, he's the man above the table, right?
He's the elder. He's above.
He's above the table. Yeah.
Yeah. The guy's his character name's Barada, but I don't know. He's her boss.
Yeah. And they go to him.
He's also the guy from Game of Thrones that was the sword the midget sword. I can't remember.
Yeah, he's Bronn from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he's Bronn.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite characters in Game of Thrones. When I saw him, I was like, "It's Bronn!"
Yeah.
So they go to him because he knows how to find the one above the table.
Yes.
And so he ends up telling them how to find it, but there's a
Give me a
price
dog.
for there's a price for it. And what was the first price? There was something before the first price, and there's a reason why he shot the dog because she didn't want to give him something.
Well, no, he says that in every whatever there's a transactional
There's a consequence.
contract.
Every action, yeah.
It's in a social contract. There's a transactional nature to it. And I gave you information, so now you owe me something. I guess I'll just take this dog. She's like, you can't have my dog. He's like, I guess I'm going to shoot it then.
Yeah, but it's bulletproof.
Well, I think he misses.
He misses,
just to prove a point.
Oh,
And
I
John
thought he
was
got
like-
the dog. I thought he got it because she had
No,
three
no,
dogs.
he
Because she remember she picks up the
because that's why John Wood looks at her like, don't do
don't
it.
do it. Yeah, he's like,
Because
just don't do it.
The dog's not dead. You know what I mean? He's like, don't do it.
And and then later, remember she says, "Well, he shot my dog." He goes, "No, I get that." I totally get it.
Yeah, he's like, I get it.
So they end up killing that guy and his whole crew.
No, she doesn't.
He doesn't die?
She shoots him in the groin. They have their firefight around the dog, and then she walks up and John says, "Don't do it." So she shoots him in the knee, and they walk
Oh, yeah.
out.
That's right.
So
Then they walk
he could
out.
show up again because he's definitely not dead at the end of that.
Yeah, and I like the whole action scene with them two getting out of the
Yeah.
building. Like,
With
I
the
remember-
dogs
I'll
attacking.
go through
dogs
the
are
stats later
awesome,
on that.
bro. I would love to have 2 dogs like that, bro.
I like how it ran up her back and up the wall to get the guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so dope. So they get out of there. They get in the car, and the guy basically says you have to go to the edge of the desert or something, and then look up.
Walk until you think you're gonna die,
Yeah,
and then he'll
and then
find
you look up, and then you'll see whatever. So she takes him to the desert. She's like, "Yo, you're on your own."
Yeah. Well, yeah. How about she pours water for the dogs?
Oh yeah.
And then he says something like consequences or something like that. She drinks the rest of it, swishes it around in her mouth, and then spits a little bit back.
Yeah, it
back
says
to her.
there you go, and he takes it.
He takes it,
He takes it
and he
'cause
must have drank it because later you don't see him with it.
Yeah, you know he's gonna need that. So he ends up walking through this whole thing. Another subplot while he's walking is the adjudicator
Yes.
goes to the I'm gonna call him the Asian guy because I don't know particularly what nationality he is, but they're like the ninja guys, and they go to him and they basically tell him that we want John Wick dead.
They call him his character name is Zero.
Yeah, Zero, and they want John Wick dead, and they're like the master assassins or something like that. They're creme de la creme who work for the table.
Or I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah,
Because I have a feeling that the people that show up at the end are a little bit higher profile, but she specifically contracts him to go get John.
yeah. So
How
John
about
ends
when
up
she eats the blowfish? Like, yeah, so what? I know
because
you're
the
not gonna
blowfish.
kill me.
Because Kamaria said, she said if you make a blowfish the wrong way, you could
it's
die.
deadly.
It's deadly.
Yeah, but
I was
she's
like,
like,
oh,
you know, if you kill me, you're dead too. So she just,
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah. So then John Wick makes it to the edge of the desert, falls out, and he's picked up, and he's brought to the man above the table. And basically he's telling the man above the table, I just want to be redeemed. I want to be done with this. And so the man,
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, the man
I
above the
read it
table
differently.
says
Go
there's only one way. He's like, there is a way to save you, but you would have to go kill the manager
Winston.
of the Continental.
Yeah.
And something else, and he ends up having to chop off his finger as fealty. That's just crazy if you chop
I
it
think
off
it
your
has his
finger.
wedding ring on it too,
Well,
right?
that's it. So
Yeah.
because remember he says to him, he's like, I've never seen a man fight so hard to get back to where he started.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I get it, but you know what? I got out of this to be with my wife, and
Yeah.
at least I want to remember her and our life together, one
Yeah.
way or another.
He could
He's
go
like,
on
well,
living.
you can do that. He goes, you can
He-
die, or you can do that and work for us.
Yeah, he said, I'd rather work for them for the rest of my life just so I could be able to remember her. You know what
And
I
that's
mean?
why
And then
that's why he makes him cut that finger off.
it's crazy. Like he
Because
chopped the
remember,
finger
because
off,
he hands
and
him
then
the ring.
they put
They burn it off. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's
that's
what you remember, because he takes the ring off and hands it to him.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
You're
yeah.
right. You're more important than this right now, but yeah.
Yeah. Which leads me to believe that whatever final John Wick movie, he's gonna go against that guy, and then he's gonna get that
Maybe.
ring back. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
So he
At
ends
least
up.
they made a smart thing taking this finger, because if they took like a trigger finger, it's kind of hard to.
Yeah, I'm sure they thought about that before they did that. So they give him a brand new suit. They give him an all black suit, looking
Looks
fresh.
badass too, right?
Yeah, and he comes back to New York City. But he ends up running into the Zero guy, and it's basically a race to the Continental. And when they get to the Continental, John puts his hand on the step, and the guy's about to kill him, and the concierge comes out and says, "Stop! There'll be no business done on the grounds."
That was another good like action scene, because they're racing on like motorcycles.
Yes.
And they're
yes.
That's a really good.
The Sharon, who's played by Lance Reddick, who died this week, by the way, at 60.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm assuming he's in part 4.
I would think. It's probably
he's
his
in
last
part
movie.
4.
It's probably his last movie.
I wondered that was this going to be like his last movie?
It might be.
Unless there's something he did before that'll get released afterward, but
yeah. So John Wick goes inside the Continental.
And
he goes up,
and Zero.
and Zero goes in there as well.
How about he sits on the couch and Zero sits right next to him?
Right next to him. He's just looking at him like,
like, come on, man.
But you come to find out that Zero really respects John Wick.
Well, he's fanboys out on him.
Yeah, he's
like fanboying out, and like he's got the dog licking his face and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, is this the dog? This is the dog? No, asshole.
No,
the other
it's not
dog's
the
dead.
dog.
This is dog number 2. We're not friends.
Yeah.
We might be in the same business. We're not friends.
So John Wick meets up with Wilson. The adjudicator comes down, and basically the manager says, "Well, I'm not giving up the Continental." And John Wick is like, "Well, so that's war. You're gonna go to war with these? What do you call it?" He's like, "Oh, it's a skirmish. It's like
something like that.
It's a little skirmish."
And then she says, "You're gonna shoot him, though, right?" He's like, "I don't think that I will." And remember, he hands him the gun back.
Yeah, and so basically, the assassins are sent after the manager and everybody else in there.
Well,
because the hotel has, what did he say? The hotel has been deconsecrated.
I love the language they use in
this,
because it's not like, it's deconsecrated.
Yeah,
and
so you see all those like assassin type people trying to check out of the hotel.
And I love the when they do that stuff. There's like a computer, and it's like a super old computer, like a Commodore 64.
Yeah. I love that little section where the messages go through.
Yeah,
all those women are with the rockabilly hair and the tattoos.
Yeah. I love that. So everybody's trying to get out of the Continental, and John Wick is like, "So services are back in order." And he's like, yeah. He's like, "What do you
under
need?"
The circumstances.
He said, "I need guns. I need a lot of guns."
I feel like that was a line from The Matrix, right?
I think so.
That might have been,
like reference to The Matrix.
Yeah, a little homage to that. Pretty good. They go in, and of course, he has a plethora of guns in his little safe room and all that stuff. And then the concierge, like, "Oh yeah, this is the bullet. Like, this is the ones we got to use."
Well, no, not initially. Remember, he goes, "You might want to get something a little bit better. They've upgraded."
No, but that's what I mean. He tells them these are the ones we got to use and stuff.
Yes.
So then they go out there, and when they're shooting, they can't pierce the armor.
Well, they got to shoot them multiple times.
Yeah, they have to get close and get them like in between where the skin is and stuff.
I will say this: I had to keep my count moving because somebody would pop up. I'm like, all right, well, that guy's not quite dead. Oh, now he's dead.
Yeah, like he's basically just knocking them down just so he can go back to him. But when they get back to the room, it's hilarious because he's like upgrades or something. He's like, yeah,
he goes, armor piercing.
But then they go to the shotguns.
Those are bad.
Yeah, he's like,
those shotguns were like automatic shotguns, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They have the clips all around their bellies and all that stuff, and they go to work with that. And then eventually they get to Zero and John fighting.
Well, they go upstairs, remember, and he fights the two.
The
He
two
fights
guys,
just two guys.
hilarious when he beats
Well-
them.
Well, no, he fights two guys initially. Then
Yeah,
he fights the next two guys. They're like, he's a little old. Let's let him back up. You know that.
yeah.
kind
But
of
remember, he beats them, and then
He
they're
does.
on the ground, and he's like, "I'll be seeing you." And they
thing. Which
kind
is,
of,
I think that's code for, hey, I could kill you right now.
yeah. So they just like
Because
they're
I think
like,
that's
and they go
but
back
that's
down.
happened a couple times now.
Yeah.
If you think about it, in every single movie, he said that and could have killed the person
Yeah.
right there and
So
walked
they gave
away.
that look like, oh, he's gonna let us live. We're just gonna
Right.
fake like we're dead right now. And I
Right.
love that part of it. I love that. So they get to the end. Zero and him fight. He defeats Zero by
Just got to
stab.
catch my breath.
Yeah,
I'll be
but
seeing you,
John
John.
doesn't let him live.
Well, he says, I'll be seeing you, John. He's like, no, you won't.
No, you
Oh.
won't.
away.
Yeah,
And that's
Yeah.
another good, like,
because
you know,
because he
sword
probably thought
fight.
all the ones that he let live before, that he was in the same position that he was gonna live.
Right.
John didn't know. You're done.
Well, as soon as he walks away, he slumps
tips
over.
over,
Like, yeah,
yeah.
you know,
He's like,
he's not.
"You're done." And then it's the adjudicator,
Winston.
Wilson, and John. And
Parlay?
yeah. But the adjudicator's like, well, this was just a show of power and stuff. You just want to stay the manager. He's like, yeah, I just want to, everything as it is. And she's like, all right, fine. But John, you got to kill John Wick.
No, she said, what are we gonna do with him? He's like, well, obviously he has to die.
Yeah, obviously
Bang,
he has
bang,
to
bang,
die.
bang, bang.
Bang, bang, bang. Which I think they did that on purpose. Like, I think he still likes John.
I think they had a conversation before that's off screen that you're going to see in the next movie. Like, look, even if this goes right, they're never letting you walk away like that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make it look like, that's my guess.
Yeah.
Because it certainly looks like from the trailer for number 4 that they're on cool terms again. Because if I'm John, you shoot me and I go flying off a building like that, why are we friends?
Yeah. So he gets his the has been consecrated again. The hotel's back. Adjudicator goes down to get into her car. She's like, wait a minute. And she goes to check the alleyway. John Wick is gone. So he goes up to him. He's like, John Wick's gone, blah, blah, blah. He's like, well,
that's your problem.
What do you want me to do about it? You know what I mean? And she's like, well, if he shows up, it's your problem or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she leaves. And then we come to see that the king of the Bari has picked up John, brought him back to his spot, and he has all the slashes on his face from the 7 cuts. And he says to John, are you angry or are you mad yet, John?
Are you pissed off?
Are you pissed off? And John Wick looks up, and he looks hurt, man. Like his eyes, I like how they made his eyes like bloodshot, like he really fell off a building. And he's like, yeah.
Well, I love how John's alive even before you get to that scene, because you see that when him and the adjudicator are talking, you see the dog run out of the hotel.
Yeah, I didn't think that was.
That's how you know, because the dog's running to John.
Yeah.
And the next time you see the dog, he's in the
So that leads us to John Wick 4, which is gonna be nuts.
Man by himself again.
Well, he's got help now because the king of the bar is got. Because he wants the table dead.
Yeah.
He wants the table dead. And I'm sure John wants the table dead, and I'm sure it's just good. It all has to find its way back to the man above the table.
Right.
Eventually. Yeah. All right. So what's the kill count?
Okay. So, couple things. Remember this opening scene where the scene we're talking about with all the knives? If you count the guys running in there, 8 guys running after him. He only kills 5. So there's 3 guys that either didn't go all the way upstairs or whatever. How about we glossed over the fact that he killed people using horses?
Oh yeah,
that was so badass. The first time I saw that, I'm like, I never saw that coming. Okay, so first movie was 69. Last movie was, I think, 115. I forgot to look at my notes again.
Something like that, yeah.
What do you think his kill count? Just his kill count.
I'm gonna stick around the same 110.
Phil?
I think he killed a few more, so it might be like 120 now.
So just his kill count is 92.
Okay.
92. Okay.
But if you include Halle Berry in that, because it's likely that if Halle Berry's not in the scene that he's in, he's got to kill those people as well. With her kill count is 42. I'm sorry, her kill count is.
Wow, she killed 4.
Her kill count is 46.
Hmm.
So together it would be 138. I'm not counting the concierge killed some people. I'm also not counting some other people. So yeah, if you count those two, it's 138. He kills who else? What else is wild? Halle Berry is only shooting people, trying to kill people for 7 minutes, from minute 56 to minute 1 hour 3 minutes. How many people do you think she? So I already said, but she kills 46 people in 7 minutes. And I'm not killing the dog kills like 2 or 3 people by itself. I'm counting people she actually shoots. So yeah, how about do you drink the? I wrote this down. Do you drink the water she gave you?
I mean, knowing where he has to walk, you got no choice. You know what I mean?
I would probably drink the water she gave,
Yeah,
even though it
that
came out
little
of her
bit
mouth.
might be what saves you right there. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, she gave it to the dog, so you got to trust that it's at least clean.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I would be interested in a spinoff with her because they laid a nice little backstory for her, like her daughter and stuff. You know what I mean? Maybe there's a story where the table knows that she helped John, so now they're coming after her and her daughter. You know what I mean?
There's nothing to say that doesn't happen in this next movie.
It could happen in the next movie too. But I feel like she's got a whole story in herself because remember she wasn't always the hotel manager.
Right.
She was, John Wick kind of level back in days, with the marker that he had and all the other stuff. So she has a backstory. So I think that's pretty cool. I shout out to Keanu Reeves, like for creating his own type of stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like just watching this movie, I am excited if there's ever a Berserker show.
If it's anything like this.
It's come on, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And he doesn't have to worry about dying. Like, it's gonna be crazy. But shout out to Keanu Reeves, man. Like, I remember when he used to have the Bill and Ted Excellent Adventures, and people would just like play him, and then he just became like a mega superstar. Like his thing went up, and then the Matrix put him in a whole nother level, and he had speed.
Dracula,
like he's just a megastar, but then he just went away. You know what I mean? And
he does projects that he wants to do.
Then he went to like stuff he wanted to do, and like John Wick, like amazing.
Johnny Mnemonic. Have you ever seen that? It's a great movie.
Great stuff for John Wick. Shout out. All right.
So 42 people on Continental grounds. Just on Continental. That's in 22 minutes. He kills 15 guys before they get the armor piercing bullets. Then he kills 22 in like 3 minutes. Because if you remember, it's like just they're blowing people's heads off. The best kill for me in the whole movie, though, is the one in Grand Central Station where he stabs the dude in the head. And he turns to him and he goes, "Was he one of yours?" He goes, "Well, he used to be."
I like that thing where they just disappeared. Like that was just wow.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And then when the kid's walking from him, he's like, "See, that's what makes you special, John. I wouldn't have stopped."
Yeah. All right. So that's John Wick 3, y'all. Hopefully we get to see John Wick 4 next weekend, and we can do John Wick 4. All right. That brings us to the end of our show. We want to thank everybody for watching tonight.